Thank you, Ashim. Good morning, everyone. You know, I worked with a lot of customer-centric organizations. UiPath is probably top of that list. But getting introduced on stage as a customer by the company's CFO, now that takes it to an entirely different level. Thank you. I'm here to talk to you about how we at Applied Materials are creating what we believe is the next generation finance organization, and one that really truly unleashes the true power of finance for the enterprise. Applied Materials is the world's #1 semiconductor and equipment display company. We have a rich history of innovation, spans over half a century, and it's a company that really helped establish Silicon Valley. We have been at the forefront of enabling the multiple computing innovation waves over the past 3 decades, and today are in the midst of enabling the 4th wave, AI, big data. Now, for the company, that means strong growth, and for finance, that means we have to ensure that we can support that growth for the enterprise. When we looked at this 4th wave 2 years ago, we didn't believe that we were well positioned to actually successfully execute for the enterprise. We said that we will need to do things differently. We actually will need to move to a completely different way of working. So we formed Agile Finance. This initiative for us was conceived to achieve 3 strategic goals. Number 1, enhance scalability and effectiveness of the finance function. Really allow us to really support that growth in a really powerful way. Number 2, establish improved career fulfillment for our employees. Talent is important. We have an amazing group of finance professionals that call Applied Finance home across the globe. We not only want to give them fulfillment, but we want them to really experience strong personal and professional growth during the time they're here with us. And number 3, moving finance to a digital way of working. This is what really drives the business agility that we're seeking for our company. One of the key transformation goals that we set for ourselves was we're going to double decision support from finance into the enterprise. Now, this is not a revolutionary idea. Finance organizations have been trying to get to this for decades, long time. But now, this time, this era, it's actually possible. You can get there. And that's the goal we set for ourselves. Still a tall order. Now, if you want to double decision support, something has to come down. Okay? And that is this transactional accounting reporting work effort. That has to come down. Now, anyone would like to guess how that comes down? Hint. We're in an automation conference. Automation. That's how you bring it down. Okay? Automation is the enabler to allow you to get to 2x decision support. If we do things successfully, we laid out what we thought what are the benefits we were going to accrue. I talked about decision support. We also were looking to get data velocity as well as data quality significantly improved. All the analytics we do, predictive, really focused on what may happen. And then, because we were leveraging automation, we had more time. Time for what? Time to engage with the business. If you want to drive insightful analytics, it doesn't come by you being in a room by yourself. You have to spend time with the business, okay? And so we would be able to really get to that impactful analysis. Then last but not least, you want to be influential. You become influential through being credible, okay? And what does that give you? It gives you not only a seat at the table, it gives you a strong voice at the table. So I talked to you about where we were headed, what were the benefits we wanted to accrue for the organization. And now I'm going to pivot to talk to you how we thought we were going to get there. First things first, really defining for ourselves, what are the desired outcomes, tangible outcomes we're going for, okay? And we did this across the people, process, technology landscape. People, it's all about getting your people to be forward-looking, predictive in their thinking, in their analytics. But it's also about them getting there through raising the level of digital proficiency across the organization. Process is all about delivering automated processes, for sure. but it's more than that. It's about getting the process to deliver better outcomes, getting real-time visibility into business performance, really getting your processes to be that enabler of timely decision-making. Last but not least, technology. Technology is the enabler. I've said this before, okay? It's in two ways. Get data into the hands of finance professionals in a high quality and fast manner, and then give them the tools to do what they need to do, work their magic. Those are the key outcomes we were striving for. How do we get there? What are the levers we get to pull, or we have to pull? First of all, automate. Automate extensively and automate relentlessly. Automation creates organizational bandwidth, also gets your people focused on that impactful analysis. Once you've automated, created the bandwidth, you deploy large-scale data analytics capabilities to your workforce, to your employee base, okay? Both of these work in conjunction to deliver that speed and quality of decision-making that you're after, because that's what really drives greater business agility for the company. Now, there's two other really important areas. If you're building a digital operating model, you need data governance. Otherwise, you're not really going to go very fast. And then, you really need to upskill the organization so they can leverage the capabilities you're instituting. That's the how. We also created 6 transformation themes to make sure that we were comprehensive in our thinking. We were holistic in what areas we were going to touch. So we created these 6 transformation themes behind which sit multiple initiatives, behind which sit individual projects that get executed. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I want to touch upon talent and workforce. You know, this is so important. You have to take your people with you on this journey. So we created a completely new, revamped finance training and development program, and that's across the areas of core finance skills, digital skills, communication skills, and leadership skills. We need our finance professionals to become trusted advisors, and they're going to do that through the data and analytics, but they also have to be able to communicate the story behind the data, and they have to be able to influence the business stakeholders they work with. For me, this next slide is the money slide. This is what it's all about. If you do it right, you go from the left to the right. This is about really unleashing the analytical prowess of finance professionals at any moment, any time they need it. Not being limited to a weekly and monthly or quarterly cadence for analytics. This is about really getting rid of tribal knowledge. This is about fostering collaboration. This is about true agility for your employee base. So now, I talked to you a little bit about the broader transformation, the broader program that we were executing over the past 2 years. And now, for the rest of the presentation, I want to focus in on the automation program. One of the key highlights for the program, it really energized the organization. As I've said before, time was not on our side. Everything we had to do within 3 years. So, same for this program. We knew we wanted to use RPA, but we could only do so if we could get to scale within 1 year. Otherwise, it wasn't a big needle mover for us. So, we set up for scale from day one. And I'm going to talk to you about how we did that. There's 4 key levers you have to put, 4 key things you have to do to set up for scale. Number 1, institutional support, automation, establishing an automation operating model, pipeline strategy, and then pipeline execution. Let's go through all 4 of these. Institutional support. Align automation to your business strategy, to your organization strategy. First step. Very, very critical. Number 2, get organizational alignment. Top down. Okay, why is it important to get tops down? Because you need people. You're going to need resources. You're going to need mind share. You're going to need them to prioritize the program. So get top-down organizational alignment. What that also does is bring commitment from people outside your organization, accountability. Okay, and then you also need alignment for the people that are really going to execute with you. The process owners, the process SMEs. This is going to help them prioritize their work. This is going to get mind share. This is going to get them engaged. Very important. Okay, number 2, automation operating model. If you're looking to build a few bots, tens of bots, okay, You can do that without an AOM. If you're looking to build hundreds of bots across a large IT landscape, you cannot do that without an automation operating model. You'll never be successful. I'm going to say a few things about the automation operating model. Number one, it's an obvious one, but I'm going to say it anyways. AOM is not the same thing as establishing a COE. It's not. It's just a component of the AOM. Number two, there's a myriad group of teams that are going to touch RPA. You really have to bring RPA and embed it into the enterprise IT operating model. And then also there's all these other teams, internal audit, legal, right, data privacy, security, that also have to get looped in to your path to production. That's when your path to production will give you the speed and quality, but also give you the compliance and the security of every automation that you're building. So AOM is super, super important. And given the number of IT teams you see on the page, that's why we believe strongly that the COE should reside in IT, fundamentally reside in IT. Number three, pipeline strategy. When we were doing this, we didn't have all these really cool process discovery tools that you heard this week. So we just did the old-fashioned thing. We brute forced it. We got a few templates out. We spread them across the entire finance organization, and we said, okay, tell us two things. Give us the activity at the task level, and we're looking for two things from you. Okay, what percentage of that activity is rules-based, and what is the complexity tied to it? Once we had that, we could map out where we were going to go automate. We had the whole landscape mapped out, and then we created this playbook. Very important. You need to be efficient and really, really high quality as you engage with the process teams. They're busy people, okay? You really want their mind share. So set up a playbook for consistency, for having a complete discussion. And it also helps you set expectations for them. Oh, this automation is going to do all of this. No, it's not. But it can also do this that you didn't think of. Okay, set expectations. That's the first step in making your customers successful. All right, that's how you maximize automation. You have to get through a lot of use cases. All right, one other thing I want to say here. You need to set the tone. And the tone that we set was, as we approach the workshops, the question to ask is not how much we can automate. The question to ask is, why can't we automate it all? That's where we start from. We want to automate everything. Now tell me what can't be automated. That's the discussion. It sets a different tone, direction, focus. Pipeline execution. You can dream it, but then you have to build it. And you have to build it fast, with high quality. Now, these are one of those moments where to go fast, first you have to go slow. The first 3 months, all we did was set up the foundational capabilities. We didn't start building a bunch of use cases. We did IT infrastructure readiness, okay? We built the automation operating model, and we built our pipeline strategy. Then we started building. And when we built, we set up for scale from day one, and we set up a data-driven operation. Okay, you're going to run into issues. Of course you are. But fix it once. Fix every problem once, and fix it good. And you need real-time information across everything you're building. Where is it? What's it going? Is it on schedule? If you're going to get to scale in 1 year, you need this type of data-driven operation. And one other thing I want to touch upon here is this steady-state playbook, okay? You have to think about sustainability. You have to make sure that not only you build with quality, but you sustain with quality, okay? Your organization is going to be excited, and the enthusiasm is going to stay consistent if the bots work well over time. So we set up the steady-state playbook. What does it comprise? Make sure every automation that's built reaches a certain quality threshold, and we had metrics for that. We did training for the process and bot owners, okay? Tell them how their process execution is going to change now with bots in their teams. And then lastly, really, you need to know who's going to be on point for support and for what reasons, okay? So have the COE and these process teams really working hand in hand and have clear roles and responsibilities defined. That's how we executed. All right. Yesterday, I was on stage with Daniel, and I completely blanked out on one of the ROI points I was going to make. And I said, you know how you don't do that? you put the ROI on the page. Okay, you can never forget it. All right. So we are very, very proud that we got to scale in 1 year. It was actually 15 months for total, as you saw, but when you talk about how from the moment we built our first bot to the end, it's actually a year. On the left-hand side is the number of automations we have in production, 274. And then you see a number underneath that, 133 reusable components. This speaks to the scale of our footprint. But we didn't have to build 274 from scratch. Why? Because we had that pipeline strategy. We knew where we were going. So every time we built an automation, we knew what was going to come again. And we knew we could reuse certain components of every build. This is important. This drives productivity, okay, through your builds. On the right-hand side, those two numbers, 124 use cases and 59 enterprise applications touched by the automation. This speaks to the fragmentation of the landscape we were automating. This speaks to the long tail of work effort that exists despite you having whatever advanced infrastructure you have. This white space will be there. And while individually, these are small tasks and don't amount to much, when you aggregate it, it's a lot of work effort for your organization. What is the application that can help you automate this white space? We came to one answer, RPA. Make sure you pick the right vendor. Okay, 150,000 hours work effort, okay, automated. It's a huge milestone for us, a huge enabler of our transformation strategy. Very, very excited. I started this talk today talking about how we wanted to create this new organization, how we want to change, unleash the power of our finance professionals. I want to end it on people. If you want to talk about sustainability or transformation, you're going to have to change mindset, all right? The mindset of your people to think differently. And why will they change their mindset? It's when you give them value. That's it. We all want value. Give them a really, really strong value proposition. Now, RPA, we automated all this work effort. It's fantastic. But there's a lot of other benefits from our RPA program that we accrued, okay? And this is what this slide speaks to. Our shared services teams, our COE teams, okay, they started really understanding what all we are doing to support the processes we execute. That's our responsibility. All these light bulbs went on. Hey, wait a second. Why are we doing this and why are we doing this over here? All right? So not only are you benefiting from the automated work effort, but you're taking out work effort that doesn't need to be there. A huge, huge benefit. And then you get this sustainability. The mind says, hey, wait, why are we holding back? We can keep going, right? There's nothing stopping us now. That's it. We're in the rhythm. This is so important for sustainability. And this is why I'm probably the most excited about this program. We get all these teams energized, all right? They've been able to do things. They've been working at the company for 20 years they weren't able to do. No one bothered to come together and standardize processes. It's a great idea that no one ever gets to because no one has the time. But now there's a big enough value proposition. Get them in the room, all right? Get them talking about automation, and a whole bunch of other benefits will come out of it. Really, really big, huge. Big, big benefits. All right. I want to end by saying that I want to say something that my boss often says, that championships are not won by individuals. They're won by teams, okay? This effort was a team effort. And we're so thankful to our partners, all the people from UiPath that supported us, and our partners, EY and IBM, okay? Huge number of individuals collaborating with the applied finance professionals to really make this happen. It was a truly team effort. We're so, so lucky to have amazing partners to be there on this journey together and help us define that next generation finance organization. Unleash the true power of finance. Thank you for your time today. Thank you.